Welcome. We're diving deep today into something, well, foundational, the Ten Commandments.
Right, but perhaps not in the way you typically encounter them.
Exactly. Our sources, drawing from some ancient texts, offer this really startling perspective on who violated them first. And it's dramatic.
Yeah, it goes beyond just humanity. We're looking at a powerful celestial figure first, then Adam.
And that's our mission today, really, to unpack these insights, see the connections, and maybe get to the ultimate essence of these principles for you.
We're definitely going beyond just reciting the list.
For sure.
It's about the implications, the why behind it all. And this raises a big question, doesn't it? If these commands are so fundamental, can they actually be kept?
And if so, how?
Exactly.
How?
Okay, so our sources kick things off with Heliel, a figure we often know as Satan.
Right. And the texts describe his actions not just as rule-breaking, but as this deep rebellion, kind of betrayal against creation itself.
And it ties directly into the first commandments, doesn't it? Seeking equality with God. Precisely. He essentially turned his own attributes, his beauty, his wisdom, and even his desire for God's throne into idols.
Displacing the creator.
Yeah, a fundamental violation of, you shall have no other gods before me.
And then the third commandment, our sources say he actually blasphemed God's name. How did that play out?
Well, by arguing the commandments were impossible to keep. Think about that.
Okay.
If you say God's law is impossible, you're basically painting God as unreasonable, even tyrannical.
Right, defaming his character. That makes sense.
And it didn't stop there. The Sabbath piece, he shattered it by instigating conflict, war, actually.
Among creation, because the angels sided with him.
Exactly. Shattering that cosmic harmony and, of course, fundamentally dishonoring God, his creator, his father.
The interpretations then get really profound. Our sources talk about murder and adultery. How should we understand those terms in this context? It seems symbolic.
It is, but deeply symbolic. Murder here refers to becoming God's enemy, aiming to destroy his creation and his plan. It's like a spiritual assassination attempt.
Wow, okay. And adultery.
That's framed as coveting what belongs to God. Specifically, Jesus' bride, the church, and even trying to draw Adam's wife, Eve, away. It's about this profound betrayal of loyalty.
A spiritual infidelity.
Yes. And he also stole by undermining God's authority and taking dominion that wasn't his over creatures, over Eden.
Coveting possessions, power.
Leading angels to abandon their posts, their God-given places. It's a whole cascade of cosmic disorder stemming from that initial rejection.
That sets quite a stage. Then our sources shift focus, bringing it closer to home with Adam, representing humanity.
And the parallels are quite striking, really.
How so? Did Adam repeat the pattern?
In many ways, yes. He also sort of made himself his own God, prioritizing his own choices, seeking happiness as an idol.
Even choosing Eve over God, the sources mention.
Right. And he echoed that same argument against the third commandment, implying God's commands were unreasonable, unfair even.
Suggesting God was asking the impossible.
Exactly. And think about the Sabbath for Adam. His sin led to the loss of that peace in Eden, right?
Yeah.
Our sources use that to illustrate how our own failures, our own turning away breaks our internal Sabbath. That deep spiritual rest gets disrupted.
So it's not just about a day, but a state of being.
Precisely. And, of course, he dishonored his father by disobeying.
And the sources draw parallels with murder and adultery for Adam, too, but internally. Hating, unforgiveness, loving the world.
Yeah, it's fascinating how they internalize it. Murder becomes about harboring hate or unforgiveness. Our sources suggest these attitudes are spiritually destructive. They sort of kill grace and connection.
That's powerful.
And adultery is framed as loving the world or created things more than the creator. A misplaced ultimate affection, a betrayal of that primary relationship.
And like Heliel, he coveted.
Yes, wanting what God hadn't given, that desire to be master of his own life.
Yeah.
It's ingratitude, but it loops back to a kind of idolatry, doesn't it?
So we see this pattern, cosmic rebellion, human failure. Both Heliel and Adam fell short. What's the takeaway here for us, for you listening? Is there a path forward?
Well, this is where our sources bring it all together beautifully. They distill those 10 commandments down to 2 core principles.
Love God, love your neighbor.
Exactly. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. And ultimately, even those 2 are compressed into one word, love.
Because love fulfills the law.
Right. As Paul says in Romans, love does no harm to a neighbor. Therefore, love is the fulfillment of the law. It's presented as the greatest virtue.
But after seeing these failures, is it actually achievable? You asked earlier if they can be kept. The sources seem to say yes, but not just by gritting our teeth.
Definitely not by sheer willpower alone. That's the key insight. Our sources emphasize that the commandments can be kept, but through a divine enablement.
Through love poured into us by the Holy Spirit, as the text puts it.
Yes. This law of the spirit of life, as it's called, it's described as something internal that empowers us. It helps us choose love over those inherent selfish desires.
So it transforms our ability to obey. It's not just an external list anymore.
Exactly. It reframes obedience not as a burden, but as a response to and an outflow of this divine love operating within us.
Wow. Okay, so this whole deep dive really reframes the Ten Commandments, doesn't it? They're not just don'ts, but expressions of love and divine order.
Right. And the violations, whether they're on that grand cosmic scale with Heliel or the deeply personal human scale with Adam, they all stem from rejecting that fundamental principle of love.
It's a rejection of God's loving authority, ultimately.
Precisely. But the really hopeful insight here is that it's not an impossible standard left for us to fail at.
The call is to love.
And that love is made possible within us through that spiritual connection.
So it leaves you with something to think about.
What might one small act of genuine spirit-inspired love look like in your life, in your world, maybe even today? Could be simple.
Yeah.
But how might that simple act connect back to the profound ancient truth embedded in these commandments? Something to consider.